Hi and welcome to Edwards Motorhomes. Now today we're going to do a handover video for you on this 2022 model Autotrail Expedition 68. Really hope you find it informative. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start on the outside of the van and then we're going to work our way in. Now the first thing to show you on the van is the key itself. Now as you can see, middle button, if we press that will unlock your cab doors. Bottom button will unlock your habitation door and your back doors. Top button, that will lock everything. Next thing, of course, press the little silver one at the top, that brings out your ignition key. And we do need your ignition key for your diesel. Underneath there, you can see we have the AdBlue. Now, it was impossible in earlier Fiats to actually know how much AdBlue you had in your system, but on the Series 8, there is a way of actually telling, which I'll show you when we do the cab. As we walk around, here we have your fresh water tank. That's where we fill up from there, and that works from your habitation key. Take it off, pop the hose in, and just fill it up. You can't overfill the system. If there's too much, it'll just pour out on your shoes. Just be careful there. As we come round, underneath the van is where we have your spare wheel in an underslung carrier. As we walk around the vehicle, next thing we have is your cassette toilet. Now, with the 68, this van actually has a header tank, which is more familiar to people who've had a caravan in the past. Same sort of scenario is what you've got if it works on the fresh water, but you work in a slightly different way. Now you'll see there's a pipe just there. Now that shows you how much water, and again you use your pink chemical in the header tank, how much you've actually got in your system. And you fill it up just from here. Now what you need to do is unscrew the top, take that off. This piece then just clips onto there. So again, it means it's nice and easy just to get it in. You just fill up again with water, pink chemical. It does need to be diluted down, and that will then work for the flush. I'm going to take that one back off and screw this on. Now, with the toilet itself on the inside, there is a handle, and the handle will open and close the blade for the toilet. Now, for obvious reasons, the toilet has to be closed, the blade across, for you to be able to take out the cassette. When you do that, there's a green clip just at the bottom, so you lift that up, take it out. Unclip the handle. Now, where you dispose of your waste, on any campsite, they'll have what they call an Alson point, and this is where we're going to take this to. Once you get there, pop that back in, take off the green cap, you press the green button at the back. Now that lets air flush through into the system so it's not glugging all over the place. You flush away, hose down, flush away again, new chemical directly into the cassette. Now when it comes to chemicals, you have green, which is eco-friendly, and you have the blue. What is important is the toilet paper you use. The chemicals are very strong, but if you end up using triple quilted toilet paper, it's going to block up your system, and that's not a very pleasant job trying to get your hands in there to get all that out. You want to use cheap toilet paper, or proper camping toilet paper is best. When you're done, push that back in. That just locks back into there. Pop your funnel in. Job done. Now, on a lot of Autotrails, people do tend to have issues with the pipes for the fresh and the waste water drain. There isn't really an issue with this. What you don't want to do is just turn the taps. What you need to do is hold the pipe and then turn the tap, and you'll find you'll have no troubles with them. But the grey one is for your waste, so again your grey water, and the blue is for your fresh water. Only other thing really to show you on the outside is this is where we actually hook up our electrics if you're plugged into the mains. You'll see there's a little blue switch there, so when you're taking the cable out, push that down and then release. Otherwise it will just lock into place. So now we're inside the van, we're going to look at our 12-volt control panel, and we're going to look at our heating and our hot water systems. So the first thing is the 12-volt control panel. This switch here turns it on or turns it off. One underneath is for your lights. One underneath that is your water pump. On this side, that switch there would be if you had an awning light, which again you could always have added at a later date, and you turn it on or off from there. Then this one here will actually give you your levels. So as you can see at the moment, fresh and wastewater are both on 0. Next one, you can select your battery, vehicle or leisure. Adjust your clock. And to adjust the clock, again, you just go from there. If you want to change the minutes, press them along and it will change. Back to the main control panels page. This one here shows you your charging. Now it shows you again that the leisure battery is charging and it's on 13.5 volts. Next one is your vehicle battery, which again is 12.5 and on good. So it shows you exactly what your system's doing. There we go, and then back round to the fresh and the waste water. Next, we have your heating and your hot water systems. So I will show you when we look at your Sargent control panel, and there's also a switch for your boiler to make sure that they work when you're on electric. But at the moment we've got those turned on. So if we put our hands across here, it will actually show you what we have within the system. Now the first thing being is, if we're looking at a heating, you have a choice of gas or electric. Now you can use both. If we turn gas off, it'll just go off when you're pressed. If you keep your finger on the electric, you'll see you've got the 3 dots. And basically what that means is 0.75 kilowatts, 1.5 kilowatts and 3 kilowatts. So again, you must be plugged into the mains for that to work. Up here you'll see you've got the frost sign. Now that's just telling you that it's on frost protection, which is 5 degrees. We take it to the next one, it's night time, which is 17. And then we can adjust our temperature from there depending on how warm we want the van. When you're not using the system, it is important to make sure that you knock it off. And again, if you've got no gas in the system, it's not going to work on gas. If you're not plugged into the mains, it's not going to work on electric. Now, if we look at the water, it'll work in the same way. So again, wave your hand across to put it on. We have a choice of gas or electric. If we keep our finger on, we can change the kilowatts. And if we go back, again, you have your frost protection. Then you have eco, which is 40 degrees, or hot, which is 60 degrees. And that is your hot water, your heating, and your 12-volt control panel. The Expedition 68 is a 4 travel seat, 2-berth van. So again, you can travel with 4 people at any given time. Now this table also is adjustable. So what you can do is you have a catch just underneath. If we pull that out, we can slide around the extender, again to give you more space. It also comes out the van. All you need to do is lift it up and take it off. Now, while we've got this out the way, what we do want to do is look underneath here. We have your leisure batteries. Again, depending on how many you've actually ordered in the van, this one's got 2. And if we take this panel off the front here, we have your fuses in there and there. We have your trip switches just in there. Now, the one thing I do want to draw your attention to, the black switch there, that will kill all your 12-volt power in the back of the van. That one there, now when we were talking about the heating, and we were saying about obviously being able to, if you have a problem with it or turning it on or off from electric, it will be that switch, that yellow one. That is your heating when you're on electric. If you do turn that off, when you come to plug it in again, remember to turn it back on, as otherwise when you're on the mains you'll have no heating on electric. And then of course the green one just there, that is your charger. Now I'll be honest, there's no point ever turning that off, because if you're not plugged into the mains it won't come on, but it just means you'll be able to charge your battery when you're actually on the grid. While we're in the front of the van, in this cupboard just here, there is a rocker switch. Now this gives you the ability to change your solar panel. So again, it can either be charging up your vehicle battery or your leisure battery, depending on what's important for you. With any new motorhome, you do have to prime your water systems. Now there are certain things that you need to do. So the first thing of course that you do is you have to make sure that your fresh water tank is sealed. Then you pop your hose in and you fill up your fresh water. Now just because you've got water in your fresh water tank, it doesn't mean that you've got water in your boiler. So again, you need to make sure that that's full before you try to heat it up. So the first thing you need to do there is make sure that your boiler is sealed. Now in this cupboard just here, you'll see that little yellow switch. Now if it's in that position, that means your boiler is sealed. If we turn it, it will open your boiler and it will drain down the water within. For our purposes, we want it sealed. So again, we've put water in our fresh water tank. Make sure our water tank is sealed. It's all being filled up. The next thing that you would do is you would open up your taps here and in your washroom on hot, and then you'd pop on your water pump. Now it's going to cough and splutter at you for the first few minutes because it's taking the air out the system. That's fine, that's what you want it to do. Once it starts running smoothly, you need to knock your taps off. Now you'll hear this noise. Now that is the water pump filling up the system. Once it's actually done its job, it'll stop making that noise. That's fine. It now means that your boiler is full. Once your boiler is full, you can then go back to your hot water you can now heat the water. Don't try to heat water that isn't there. When you come to drain your system down for the winter months or when you're not going to use it, again, same sort of scenario. Open up your fresh and your wastewater tanks, drain them down. Next thing, once you've done that, is again, you just got to make sure that you open up your boiler, drain it down from there. Now, I would usually say, don't have your water pump on if you've got no water in your system. Just for about 10 seconds, open up your taps, pop your water pump on. Any water that's still in the pipes, let that drain down, and then you'll be fine. So when we look over your kitchen, the first thing, of course, is we do have an extender on the work surface just there, and below we have a 230 volt plug. Now, your 230 volt plugs will only work if you're plugged into the mains. Storage. Got your cutlery drawer just there. Underneath here, again, we've got more storage. But here, we've got this switch. Now, this is for your boiler on electric. Again, if that's switched off, if you're plugged into the mains, you won't be able to use your hot water on electric. So make sure that's turned on. Again, if you're off grid, it doesn't make any difference because you're not going to be able to use the electric anyway. Underneath here, as we've already seen, that you have your boiler drain, and at the back, we have some gas isolator switches. So again, if you were to have a gas leak, you can isolate from there. And just above, we have your water pump. Here we have your oven, and above we have your hobs. Now, both these systems work on gas, and again, it's quite simple. For your oven, you turn it anywhere from minimum to maximum. You've got your oven. Turn it around that way, and you've got your grill. Obviously, you must have your gas turned on for either of these two systems to work. So here we have your fridge freezer. Now, your fridge freezer in the Expedition 68 is an electric system. So it will work from your leisure battery or if you're plugged into the mains. It does mean that it's very important to monitor what you're using, which again you can do from your 12 volt control panel. It's not that they're excessive when it comes to the electric use, but again, if you're going to be off grid for a period of time, you need to monitor what you're using. You can always start up the engine, that will then produce more electric to go back into your leisure battery. But how it actually works is we have the switch here to turn it on. There we go. Now when it's flashing, that's what we want to do. So if we want to change the temperature on our fridge there, we'll hold until it starts to flash. Now if we want to turn the temperature up or down, we can. The other one we have over here, this is your night mode. So if we press on that till it flashes, if it turns blue, it's a lot quieter system on the night. But again, because it's not so much of an issue, because again the weather tends to be a bit cooler, you've not got so much of a problem. But you've got, again, night mode, and then you've just got your temperature. When you're not using it, very important, keep that button pressed in and you turn it off. In the back of the vehicle, of course, we do have this ladder which you can remove to get up onto the bed. We have plenty of storage in these drawers just down here, and of course by removing the ladder you do have access to go directly into the garage area. In the back, on this side we have a storage cupboard, and on this side we have a storage cupboard. Now these shelves can be taken out, and at the top there is a bar, so that can be used as a wardrobe. In the washroom we have your cassette toilet. Now you'll remember when we were looking at the toilets on the outside, we were saying about the blade, and as you can see at the moment the blade is closed. Open that there, blade's open, which will mean you can't actually take your cassette out now. But really the only reason you want that open is if you're using it. Apart from that, keep it closed. Button there for your flush, and again you must have your water pump on for that, and then if that light turns on it means your cassette is full. When we come over this side we have your wash basin, and as you can see just up the top above the mirror there, that's where you'd attach your shower, and your shower literally just pulls out of your tap. You do of course also have your curtain that will need to come round because you do need to protect your door when you have your shower on. The biggest selling point for the Expedition 68 is obviously the large garage area. Now you do have the ability to remove these mattresses, so again the whole thing at the back can become storage space if you so wish. Here we have a light, and again we have the access back through into the main habitation area just there. Now you get these handy storage pockets all throughout. Of course we do have the step in there and the electric cable as well. Behind this wall just here we have a water container, And behind this one is where you keep your gas. Now, you want to be using propane because, again, it has a far lower freezing temperature than butane. And, of course, it's already set up to use a Cala propane system on this pigtail just here. The other thing to show you when we are looking at our garage area, slide that back up first, are the doors, because these doors, again, you can open them halfway, but you do have the ability to open them out fully. Press the button in there and just pop round. Of course, we do have your windows either side as well, and you have your blinds and your fly screens. So now we come to your cab. So the first thing, of course, is we have your electric windows just here, and that button there will lock or unlock your doors. When it comes to the blinds, just pull back, this then slides up and it locks in. Bring it back, slide down, exactly the same on the passenger side. For the front, the blind now pulls up from the bottom, and of course just here you have your handy tablet or phone holder. Pull up from the back, they are quite stiff. Unclip there, you pop your phone or your tablet in. When you're done, lock it back down, push it back into place. Now, the biggest difference on the Series 8 is it gives you a lot more information on the screen just here. And we work that with these controls. So again, at the moment you can see vehicle setup. If we press onto there now, we go into vehicle settings, we can change our display, we can change our units from miles to kilometers, we can change our clock and date. If we come out of that system, we can now scroll down. So again, instant info, we have our range. We push the button over to the right. We have our trip computer for A, 2 on there, 2 for B, and then we also have our speedo. Press down again, and you have your GSI. Down again. Now this is where you have your vehicle info. So again, you've got your oil level just there. Press across, oil temperature. That one there is the oil life, battery charge, AdBlue. So again, when we were outside and we were talking about how much AdBlue you have in your system, you can tell exactly how much you have in there from there. Scroll across, your service light. Come down to the next one. If there are any alerts with your system, it will let you know on there. Scroll down again and we go back to vehicle setup. So it's a lot more interactive and gives you a lot more information that you had in the past. Of course, we have the 6-speed box over here because it's the manual. You do need to lift the collar to go into reverse. We have your cab air conditioning. Then, of course, we have your heater controls just here and here, and your fresh air recirculator there. Your stability control program there, which you do have the ability to turn off, though I can't really understand why you'd want to. Lock or unlock your doors again, and you have your hazards. Of course, you've got your passenger and your driver's airbags, and in here there is a vent at the back just there. Now, if that works in conjunction with your air conditioning, so again, if it's cold, put a bottle of water or something like that in there, keeps everything really nice and cool. To spin your seats round, you have a catch just here, and what you have to do is pull that away and then sort of shuffle your bum round, and then it will slide around. Now, on this side you have 2 catches. Now these are to adjust your seat up and down. So the front one will do the front of the seat, the back one will do the back of the seat, and it works like on a rocker system. So you have to put your weight on, go up or down the front, same at the back. Then of course you do have the wheel for your backrests. You also have the wheel for your armrests just there. If you have a flat vehicle battery, the battery is actually situated underneath the floor pan here, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to get to. While we are in this area, of course, just underneath here we have your toolkit. Now, if we need to charge our battery up or give it a boost, the easiest way to do it, bonnet release, just there. Now, if we look underneath the bonnet, there is your negative point. And just under this little catch here, if I open that up, we have your positive. So again, if you jump in the vehicle, negative, positive, saves you having to get to the battery and an awful lot of problems. If you need to get to any of your levels, just undo these clips here, take this piece off. When it comes to your reservoir, just here for your washers, you can slide this piece just out there. It is quite tight when it's new. There we go. That comes out. So again, it means that the access is a lot easier. And there we have the Expedition 68 for you. Really hope you found it informative. We do have a lot more handover videos and reviews on our YouTube channel. And if you'd like to subscribe, little button just down there will give you all the videos that you could handle. Thank you very much.